So now that we know our harmonic minor scale, how do we kind of implement it into our playing? I think the first thing we need to do is understand where the harmonic minor comes from. Okay, why is it different? Why do we have that raised seventh in our harmonic minor scale? The big thing is that it's the leading tone to kind of our home bass. Leading tone is just a fancy word for a half step below our root note. So an easier way to think about the harmonic minor scale instead of these crazy new patterns is going to be just a half step below where our root note is. So for example, E minor, which I played in the beginning, if I'm playing an E minor scale, now I know E is up here on the 12th fret on the first string. If I go a half step below that, that's going to give us that harmonic minor sound. Okay, now getting used to the patterns is really good because it really gets that all those crazy jumps right there, 3 fret jumps underneath our fingers. All right, but that's the basic idea of it, is that it's a half step below. Now, where that half step below our root note is the most common in a chord progression, minor chord progression, is going to be that dominant chord. So the dominant of our home bass. So in E minor, our dominant is going to be B7. All right, now if we play a B7 chord, there's my B7 as a 6-string bar chord, root note on the 7th fret. Okay, my 7th right there. You'll notice the one difference between that minor and a 7th, dominant 7th, is going to be that D sharp right there, which is a half step before my E root note. So that note is going to be, that note is the big difference between a harmonic minor and a natural minor scale. So now that we know where that raised seventh is, what situations can we use the harmonic minor in? One thing is going to be, well, if you see that dominant chord in there. And the easiest way to spot that is that if you're playing a song in a minor key and you see any sort of dominant 7, most likely it's going to draw you back to home bass or our minor 1 chord. So in E minor, it's going to be that B7. And we can take that throughout all of our 5th string bar chords. If home bass feels like it's a 5th string bar chord right here, a dominant 7th chord on the same fret on the 6th string, it's going to be a good place to use it. So for example, if I'm playing a song in the saddest of all keys, which is D minor, and I see an A7th, same fret on the 6th string, I know that D harmonic minor is going to be a good scale to use over that. And same thing for C minor and G7. C minor, and I see something on the same fret right there. Now we can find another pattern for root notes on the 6th string. For example, if I'm on an A minor, if it's really feeling like an A minor song, then I see an E7, or basically 2 frets up and 1 string down on the 5th string. That's going to be the dominant 7th for that. So then I play a harmonic minor. Okay, so you really want to see that as an extension of kind of that dominant 7th chord. Another way that we can use it is just by a neat way to spice up any sort of minor chord vamp. If there's a long time that you're playing a minor chord, you can kind of stick it in there. All right, so if I'm playing E minor, it's pretty long until, let's say, C. While I'm playing on that E minor chord, I can kind of really try to throw in that harmonic minor in there. Minor chord vamps, when you see the dominant 7th chord, biggest thing. Hope that helps, and let me know if you have any questions.